I'm here with research assistant and hive manager at the ANU with Peter Czeti to talk about virosis. Can you tell me what virosis is, Peter?
Virosis is just the effects of the predation of a particular type of parasitic mite of the Varroa destructor. The mites, it's not entirely clear how the mites got to Australia, so we don't know whether they came in on a ship or otherwise, and that they've been in Australia for some time. So the estimates are anywhere between 18 months and several years. So once the mites have been on the mainland for that period of time, there's a very strong chance that they would have been able to spread quite substantially because it only takes one mite. So one mite on a bee is enough to establish a new colony of mites in a bee colony. The other part of it also, I think, is that the biosecurity practices of beekeepers have been somewhat questionable. A lot of beekeepers haven't been doing checks for Varroa mites, even though they're required to do so under the Biosecurity Code of Conduct, Code of Practice. And because they haven't been doing them, the mites have been able to get the upper hand in the last year or so.
Is that why we've decided to stop trying to eradicate them this time because of not having like 100% cooperation with all the beekeepers?
Yes, it's also simply because we didn't get to it until it was too late. So once the mite has spread as far and as wide as it did, I don't think any degree of cooperation would have really helped.
Did we get to them too late because of a lack of reporting and lack of people checking for these mites?
I believe so, because the first people who actually detected them, oddly enough, were the Sentinel Hive people. And by the time that the alert went out, mites were being discovered in beehives across Newcastle.
Is there a reason why they didn't bother checking for these mites?
Several reasons. Probably the most telling one is that because the mite wasn't here, there was quite a degree of disbelief in the sense, well, if the mite's not here, then I don't really need to check for it. And the process of checking for mites is not it's a relatively straightforward process, but it requires a degree of intervention in your colony.
Now that we've decided to accept that they're going to be a problem, how's that going to affect the beekeeping industry, and how will that lead on to the rest of the agricultural industry?
Well, it'll be one of those earth-changing experiences for the industry, I suppose. This is a one in a lifetime type event, and if you look around the world, there are very few there's an entire generation of beekeepers who've never known beekeeping without Varroa. So it's been around a long time. Australia's just been lucky to escape it for as long as it has. And I think that adjusting to that will be, very difficult. Uh, I think in New Zealand, they had anywhere around 35 to 40% of commercial beekeepers leave the industry when the mite entered New Zealand.
Should people expect to see general grocery prices for fresh food go up, and I'm assuming obviously honey would also go up?
So Australia is not a big producer of honey. In fact, we import more honey than we produce. The price of honey, if it goes up, it'll just be imported from somewhere else. So I don't expect the price of honey to go up unless you're deliberately buying honey from a local beekeeper, in which case it might go up. It depends. Certainly, fruit and veg prices of fruit and veg will go up simply because there'll be two factors. One is there won't be enough beekeepers. There won't be enough bees because beekeepers will exit the industry. The wild honeybees will be decimated. They're estimating that somewhere around 95 to 98% of all wild bees in Australia will be destroyed by Varroa. So that's a lot of bees. And there are a lot of industries that depend on wild bee pollination. Now, Varroa doesn't affect Australian native bees, but like I said, Australia carries a very high feral load of European honeybees. So they'll all be decimated. And with, say 30% or 40% of beekeepers exiting the commercial part of beekeeping, then there'll be a substantial shortage of beekeepers available for pollination. So you can expect that fruit and veg prices will go up. How much, I can't say. It's not going to happen tomorrow. I mean, Varroa will take time to spread around the country. It's not going to happen within, I would say, within, say, 3 to 5 years' time. That's when you'll start seeing the effects.
Yeah, that's everything I had to ask. That was a really good answer. Thank you for that.
Sure. No, you're welcome.
Awesome.
Hopefully I answered them fluently.
You did. They were very fluent. So
Yeah,
thank you for your time.
yeah, you're welcome.